Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and this has got to be one of the most amazing stories I've seen of late. President Trump has forced the corrupt, Soros-funded Manhattan DA to blink. He's got nothing on Trump, and now with the latest development, he's in effect admitting it. And it's all happening as Trump's polls are going through the roof. We're going to see the latest on the grand jury, on Trump's polls, and why all of these efforts to bring down Trump are crashing down right before our very eyes. It's being widely reported that the Manhattan grand jury, considering indicting President Trump, is about to recess for the next month. This according to sources inside the DA's office. According to those sources, this was supposedly a pre-planned hiatus to cover the Easter and Passover holidays, such that the grand jury wouldn't reconvene until the last week of April, a month from now. There's thus no possibility of indictment or arrest for Trump until then. Trump couldn't hide his gloating glee from hearing the news. He took to Truth Social and posted, "I've gained such respect for this grand jury and perhaps even the grand jury system as a whole. The evidence is so overwhelming in my favor and so ridiculously bad for the highly partisan and hateful district attorney that the grand jury is saying, hold on, we are not a rubber stamp," which most grand juries are branded as being. "We are not going to vote against a preponderance of evidence or against large numbers of legal scholars, all saying there's no case here. Drop the sick witch hunt now." Now, what he's getting at there with the rubber stamp comment, there's an old saying that a good prosecutor could get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. In other words, grand juries generally don't particularly care if the prosecution presents them a case. They generally assume there's merit to it, otherwise present it. So they tend to basically rubber stamp it. But then we learned last week that the grand jury meetings were being canceled because of, quote, major dissensions within the district attorney's office. One source claimed that Alvin Bragg, this district attorney, was having trouble convincing the grand jury on potential charges due to the obvious weakness of the case. So if Bragg has been getting that kind of pushback from the grand jury, a jury that normally just rubber stamps cases, it only amplifies just how extraordinarily weak and flawed this case is. Now, we got this 1 month delay, and you really got to ask, how is this not suggestive of a total breakdown, a total collapse of the case as a whole? And to make matters even worse, this is all happening as Trump's poll numbers are absolutely going through the roof. Wait till you see this, gang. But first, I do want to invite all of you to see one of the most spectacular sights imaginable. It's the astonishing performing arts company called Shen Yun. Shen Yun is dedicated to reviving the true, authentic culture of China before the communist takeover. This is something that's incredibly important to me, and I know that many of you watching this video feel the same way. Shen Yun is not just a traditional Chinese dance and music show. It's a journey through China's rich history and culture. It's a chance to experience the beauty and magnificence of true Chinese art, something that's been lost in modern times. In fact, Shen Yun is actually banned in China, but we have the opportunity to experience it here outside of China in major metropolitan areas near you all around the globe. So just click on that link below to find the performance nearest you. And if you are someone who values tradition, intellectual stimulation, and great storytelling, then you need to click on that link below right now and prepare to be utterly amazed. Even the Never Trumpers over at Fox are admitting that Trump is absolutely crushing it in the polls. Trump now leads the growing Republican pack in a Fox poll by an astonishing 30 points. His lead's doubled. You heard that. Doubled since February. He's gone up 11 points since then, while DeSantis has actually dropped 4 points. DeSantis is getting absolutely hammered as a neocon hack by the Trump team, and frankly, for good reason. It may not be his fault, but whatever it is, the whole neocon establishment faithful are lining up behind DeSantis, which is not good in a party where all the grassroots energy is moving thoroughly in the nationalist populist America First direction. The latest Quinnipiac poll released today is more modest, but it too gives Trump a 14-point lead over his Republican challengers. Now, this is corroborating the latest Morning Consult poll released some days back that had Trump leading DeSantis by 20 points, up from 11 in January, as well as a Monmouth poll where Trump has surged to a 14-point lead over DeSantis, an 8-point jump since February. What's absolutely clear, I've noticed even the staunchest Trump retractors admitting this, what's clear here is that Trump's strategy of confronting the Soros-backed DA head on, getting in front of the story, just like he did with Mar-a-Lago, has worked brilliantly in his political favor. Remember, we first learned about Mar-a-Lago from Trump. Trump's Truth Social account served as, in effect, as the PA system for the raid, bypassing the legacy meeting, going straight to his supporters, which of course served only to rally support in his favor. And again, we saw it in the polls. The Mar-a-Lago raid gave Trump a 10-point boost over DeSantis. Well, now according to the new Harvard-Harris poll, 59% of those surveyed believe that this indictment is a political hit job. 6 in 10 voters see this looming indictment as a sham, as weaponized legalism. And nearly 70% think that the Trump payment to Stormy Daniels was nothing more than a personal expense. So Trump has clearly controlled the narrative here. And the fact that that narrative control has now resulted in the suspending of the Manhattan grand jury for the next month only underscores how futile all this is. Jonathan Turley was noting just the other day that this case, in fact, none of the cases against Trump, New York, D.C., Georgia, none of these cases are likely to be prosecuted before the 2024 presidential election. And that's assuming that they even survive all the court challenges they're going to get. And even if Trump were convicted, that wouldn't be a barrier to him taking office. I mean, we've talked about this many times on this channel. The Constitution limits qualification for the presidency to 3 factors. You have to be at least 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, and a U.S. resident for at least 14 years. That's it. You can be a convict and still serve. There's no way around it. So all of this underscores the utter futility of this absurdity. And with the latest suspension of this grand jury, that futility is being made more ready and apparent than ever before. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Elon Musk warning of a civilizational arms race over AI. You're not going to want to miss this, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.